Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Rebecca and this is my first status update video. So I'm super excited and I want to go over some things that I've finished, some things I'm working on, some things that I'm going to be starting, and I hope you enjoy. So like and subscribe below so I know to make more videos, and let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is my shirt. My mom got me this shirt. Let's see. It says I crochet so I don't unravel, which is really cute and very true. She bought it from an Etsy shop, so I'm gonna have to find the I'm gonna have to ask her who the Etsy shop owner is so I can make sure that I give them credit, because the shirt's awesome and it fits perfect. So, all right, let's see. Let's start with, something I just finished. So, my husband was in rehab for a few weeks after recovering from brain surgery. So, I had a lot of downtime. So, I started by making, his physical therapist was actually a crocheter also. And she was telling me about a stitch she had just learned, and I thought, well, I don't know that one, so I'm gonna have to go look it up. And it's actually a really easy stitch. It's called a mesh stitch, and it's just a single crochet and a chain one, and you do that back and forth. So I decided to make a scarf. So I had made this scarf. It's using Red Heart Heat Wave, and this is the gray. And so I had posted a picture of my finished scarf, and it was missing something and I didn't know what it was. So I posted it on my Facebook page, and a friend of mine responded that it needed some navy blue in it, and she was absolutely right. So I went and I bought some navy blue of the same Red Heart Heat Wave, and I added some to it, and here is my finished product. It does get a little wider on the ends here. And at first that was by accident and then by design. So when I first started making it, apparently my stitch got tighter as I continued. So it narrowed off, and I didn't notice that until I got to the other end when I started to do the other end. So I had to do the other end the same way so it would match. So I went up a hook size and added the blue. So here is my finished scarf, and I actually had a ton of the blue left over, so I decided to make a hat that matches. And so I made this hat. It's my first it's the first pattern that I've ever made that I come up with, and I'm actually in the process of writing it and to be tested. So this is the hat that I made to match the scarf. So I'm very happy with it. I made my husband model it for me. He wasn't very happy about that. He's a good sport though. He does a lot of my modeling, and he's usually a good sport about it. So here's my finished set, my scarf and my matching hat. I was super excited about that. And it's cold in Maryland right now. Well, not today actually. We're having heat wave at like 55 degrees. But typically it's like 20 to 30 degrees here now. So, okay, let's see. Something I am working on. So something I'm working on. My husband's sister is having her second baby, and this is a girl. And I made her first baby blanket for her son, which was actually just born. He just celebrated 2. And I made his blanket, and I will post a picture of that one up here. That one was a corner to corner, and I did a deer. They're big hunters, or like, camo, and so I did a deer applique with the camo yarn, and I will post a picture of that up there if I can find one. I think I have one of the finished I know I have one of him using it because it just showed up on my Facebook timeline, but I don't know if I have one of the whole thing. If I do, I'll put it up there. So she is now expecting a little girl. And so I am working on the Casablanca. I think that it's called Casablanca. And I'm going to, here's my first square so far. So the pattern, I don't know if you can see. The pattern is done in colored yarn. What am I using? I'm using Bernette Soft Baby, and the color is Baby Baby. So actually when I went to the store to get this, there was two separate ones. There was the excuse me, the smaller ones, and then there was, you know, the big ones that you can get. But I didn't really like the big one that you could get because it had a lot more white in it, and it was very little in color, and I thought that's just a lot of white. So I actually decided to get the smaller ones, a couple of the smaller ones to do instead of the big one, because the smaller ones had a lot more color variation in it. So I'm doing the Casablanca square, and I have to say the pattern is a little difficult to follow. I'm not new at crocheting, and I am having a pretty difficult time. It's been frogged a few times, so but the plan is to make 4 of these, and then I'm going to do a border around the edge that cover in the colored yarn. So I think it'll be really cute. I think this one though, I'm going to go back because about 3 rows in, there's a cross stitch row, and I think I'm going to change that one to the colored yarn, because I think this is just a lot of white right here, and then to have this white here and then the next block of white here, that's just a lot of white, and there's not much color, and the color is the part you want to see. It's the pretty part. So, and the cross stitch is a textured stitch, so I think I'm going to go back and change the cross stitch into the variegated yarn, and I think that'll look better, and I think it'll break up a lot of the white there. So that's my plan. That's what I'm working on. Let's see, what else are we, let's see what else we got here. I just finished bath scrunchies. I just finished those. I have to find the pattern for it, but it's actually really easy, and they work up really quick. And I made them in 3 different sizes. So I did like a little travel one because my husband and I were commuting back and forth a lot to Baltimore for him for treatments and surgery and stuff. And so I made a little small travel one. I made a medium size one, and then I made a really dense extra large one. I haven't tried this one yet, but I'm thinking, I made them all with 100% cotton. I made them with I think it's Lily's. But it's 100% cotton, and I think this one's going to take too long to dry after the shower, so I think this may be too dense, and it's going to cause some problems drying. So I'm not sure about this. I may get it wet and hang it up and see how long it takes to dry before actually attempting to use it, but it feels super soft and awesome. So let's see. I made a lot of bath stuff lately. I also made, what's this one? Oh, this one's my soap saver. So we go through a lot of body wash, and I'm trying to reduce the amount of plastic we use. So I made these shower savers. There's a piece of lint on that one. I made the shower savers, and it's actually using the same, this one I just designed myself. And it's actually using the same mesh stitch that the scarf used. I was obsessed with the stitch at that time. So I made the little soap saver bag, and it's got a drawstring on it, so you can put your soap in and tie it up and use this, as opposed to using bottle after bottle of body wash. So I also made another one. This one's a little different though, but this one I made face scrubbies. This one's face scrubbies, and it's 3 different textures of face scrubbies. And then I made another little bag. This one's a different stitch though. It's similar to that one, but not quite the same. I made this one to hold your face scrubbies, and then you can throw the whole thing in the washing machine, and then that washes, and you just don't have scrubbies flying all over the place. So, all right, let's see what else we're working on. Oh, one we're about to start. So like I said, my husband just went through having a brain tumor, and it's put us both out of work at the moment. And we had a GoFundMe page set up, and a girlfriend that I went to school with was very generous in helping us while we're still currently, but neither one of us can go back to work at the moment, but she was very generous in helping us. So I decided I wanted to make her a blanket, and I looked at all her Facebook pictures. She doesn't have very many, but I looked at all her Facebook pictures to kind of see what her color palette is. And I found that she really liked neutral colors. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and I got a neutral color. I love this yarn. And this one is called Birchwood Cottage. So I got the Birchwood Cottage, and I also got 2 accent colors. This one is just brown, and I think this one is ivory. Oh, I love this yarn. I do love this yarn. It is like really soft, especially for an acrylic yarn. Because sometimes you can get acrylic yarn that's really hard and really stiff and really tough, and it hurts your hands when you're crocheting, and I hated that. So then I found, now the Hobby Lobby is like 45 minutes from my house, so every time I go that way I find an excuse to have to stop. And even if I don't buy anything, I still like to go and touch all the yarn, and my husband makes fun of me because I'm crazy, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. He just goes along with it. And when we're done, we leave. So I got these. I got a whole bunch of it, actually. And I have more that's still in the bag. So I got more that's still in the bag. And I think what I'm going to do, because the colors are very mellow, I guess that's a good word for it. Since the colors are very mellow, I'm going to do a textured blanket. I think I'm going to do, the Crochet Crowd has it was a crochet along, and it was a textured blanket that it's a square, and I'm going to do a lap size, and it's got a bunch of different textures, and I think that I may do that, and I think it'll look really good with the variegated yarn. I think it'll actually look really awesome. So put all that over there. So, but actually, if you have a pattern that you think would look really good, let me know, because I am open to ideas. I haven't started yet, but I am definitely open to ideas, because I think that I would love to give her a blanket as a thank you. So I think a textured blanket would look really good with the mellower colors. So I think that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all again soon. So again, like and subscribe so I know someone's watching, and I will keep making videos and we can sit and chat. So thank you. Show me what you're doing down below, and happy stitches.